Okay, so you're finally over the mask. You finally let go of your persona in some form or way, however small, however big, whether fully or not entirely, or mostly, right? That's great. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you, genuinely. But you still have the same friend groups, or you still have the same environment, or you still have the same friends. I already said that. Same family members, same people, basically, that you hang around with. And that is actually impeding your growth. That is actually impeding and preventing you from being your authentic self and not allowing you to keep the mask off. Because you understand how long it took you to put the mask down, right? It didn't just happen overnight. It didn't just be like, oh, I lie all the time, so I'm just going to stop lying. And that's the one mask that I have. No, there's many masks. There's many things that we need to do in order to take off all the puzzle pieces of the mask that we created over time and take it off. Whether that be people pleasing, whether that be emotional outbursts, or faking emotions, or faking conversations, or being inauthentic in any way, whatever that is. But the people that are around you still are still wearing those same masks. And you'll see it because you finally undone yourself. You finally did the work and you're like, I want to spread my positivity and my knowledge to the people that are closest to me, you know? So it's like, oh, let me talk to my friends about being more successful. It's like, yo, let's all hang out and talk. And you finally get and hang out and talk, and you talk about different subjects than what they're talking about. They talk about their problems and about drinking, and you're talking about, well, what's the next? You want to work out? You want to be more successful? What are the steps you're taking to get to this goal? And you're talking about like aspirations and such. And they're yes manning you, which is their own mask, because they don't want to feel like they're inferior to you. So they're like, yeah. And then slowly you grow apart. That's how it is. That's the truth, 100%. So I'm telling you right now that they are still wearing masks. The people around you, everyone, is usually wearing a mask still. Usually. I would say it's very hard to find someone who's actually authentic. Only because the environment that you put yourself in for so long has been the opposite, which is personas and masks. So you need to just, unfortunately, let go of those people. Let go of the people that are still wearing the masks, that aren't comfortable with being themselves, aren't comfortable with you being yourself and changing for a better person and being, just growing as an individual as you get older and stuff like that. And just do it now. Because if you do it later, it's going to be the same exact result, but it's going to hurt way more. Because now you have the grief of loss. Now you have the sting of betrayal in whatever way it is. Of your friend becoming an enemy or your friend becoming a stranger, instead of leaving on good terms and just cutting it off right then and there. You know how I did it? And it's so funny because I've gone to therapy for a very long time. And there was group therapy sessions and settings, and there was this concept that I've heard all the time, but I never actually incorporated it because I was still in a mindset of, no, my friends are good people. They're like, oh, who's your friend group? I'm like, oh, my friend group is the type of people that do bad things and, drink all the time and do more bad things. And they're like, and you're still with them? You still hang out with them? I'm like, yeah. Me at that time, a couple years ago, I was bettering myself, my mentality, and the way that I expressed myself. And that was good for me, but it wasn't good for the friend group because they were just trying to bring me back down to their level, which was doing bad things and drinking and not doing much with their life. No hate, no shade. But even though we were all working on a future in a different way, we were going different paths as well. My friend group was going on one path and I was going a completely different path. That's just how it is. And they always say like, oh, one person in the group of the therapy session was like, the people that you hang on right now, you're gonna let go of them eventually. And I'm like, what? No, they're my best friends. I would never do that. I've known them since childhood. I would never do that. Why? Like, no, that's not how it is. It's different. I'm different. No, it's not. Life is all the same. Everyone's relationships is pretty much the same. And experience or not, we have the same situations. So I'm thinking about it years later, right? Years later, like 7 years later after that person told me this, and I let go of my friends 2 years ago. And I'm thinking about it, it's like, dang, I wasted 5 years of my life with my friend group knowing that eventually we would just disconnect, just break apart, and that's what happened. I was eventually the outlier of a friendship, of a friend group, and that isolated me more. That made me feel more lonely. I grieved more. I was sad more. I tried to get them to get on the same path as me, but it was never gonna work out, and it never did, unfortunately. We were just at different parts of our growth, and that's okay. So I had to learn the hard way that they weren't good for me. I knew deep down my entire time that I've ever known them that they were no good for me, but they were all that I had at the time. And that's just the reality of it, I was clinging on to something that I had to cling on to because I had nothing else to cling on to. I was hanging on to one, let's say it's Tarzan in the jungle, right? I was hanging on to one vine, and I didn't want to let go until I caught another vine. And then I can let go of the old vine. But that's not how it works in life. Sometimes you got to let go of the vine, and you don't know if you're going to catch the next vine, and you don't know how long you're going to be in the air for. You don't know what the next step is, and sometimes you just gotta make it brief. You just gotta cut it off. You just gotta let it go. And some of you are gonna take this to heart. Some of you are not gonna take this to heart. And those of you that don't are gonna learn the hard way. Not because I told you so, and I don't want to ever say that I did, but because you're just learning from experience. Some of us learn better from experience, and that's okay too. But everyone that still is wearing a mask, is having issues, is going through problems that you have already accomplished or gone through or worked through. And it's not up to you to help them. It's not up to you to change them. It's not up to you to say, hey, look at this wagon that I'm going on. You should all jump into my car. I'll jump on the wagon that I'm going on because it's the better way to do it. They're going to say no. And that's just because the person that you were before isn't the person that you are now. And the fact that you even have the mask off, or even bits and pieces that you're taking apart, the persona, the mask, just shows that you're on a different path. Because if they were already on that path, or if they decided to go on that path, they would already be doing that. You would have met them like that. But you met them when you were having the mask, when they were having the mask, and when they had persona, when you had persona. That's just how it is. So the people around you are still wearing the thing that you once wore. The hurt, the shame, the guilt, the fake happiness, the people pleasing, the judgments, the bad mindsets, the inability to grow. A great quote from a song that I love hearing. I think it's Sarah Bareilles or something like that. Probably saying that wrong. But she's like, how can I explain in words through a song that my earth is somebody's ceiling? And I was like, oh boy, that's a bar. Because it's true, How do you explain to somebody that their limitations are the ground that you stand on? How do you tell someone, hey, this is how you do the right thing. This is how I took off the mask, the persona. But they're like, that's above me. That's in the sky. I could never reach that. I could never get to that point. And that's why you gotta let them go. That's why you gotta learn how to be cutthroat in a way. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to be where you're going. They're not going to be at the same level that you're going or you're going to be at. And that's just how it is. But the fact that you do and are able to get rid of these people in a gentle and healthy way out of your life, just not talking to them anymore, whatever you're going to do, you allow room for other people that are not wearing the mask, that are not allowing their persona to overtake them, to not allow the emotion, to not allow the limitations of mindsets to be onto you. And you're going to be happier for it. You may be alone for a while. I forget exactly what the quote is, but they're like, I'm gonna misquote it. I'm just gonna say the generalization, but it goes something like, when you leave something, you're gonna be alone for a while until you find your real group or your real people. You know, it takes time for the people that you left, for that energy, for that mindset and those qualities to exit your life. You're going to go through a period of solitude, and then you're going to finally experience yourself with the people that you are actually like-minded with and are actually wanting to be with, and that'll help you grow and not have a mask or persona. And it takes time. It takes a lot of solitude. It takes a lot of solitude. Isolation. But that's the best part. Because not only do you find the people that you want to be with after your isolation, but you have so much more time to really siphon and really narrow what you actually want in your friendships, in your relationships, in your connections, what you actually want for yourself, what you actually need from other people and from yourself. It's a blessing in disguise. It really is. And the faster you do this, the faster you do the first step, the faster that you'll be on the second step. And not the faster you do the second step takes a very long time, but the faster that you're able to process everything and really come into your own authenticity fully and unapologetically, the faster the people that are just like you will find you. You don't need to look for them. They're going to find you, or you're going to find each other. It's not going to happen forcefully. It's going to happen naturally. And it starts with removing the people that are no good for you, that are still wearing the mask. I know it's hard. I've gone through all of it, but it's worth it. Truly. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Augustin, and this is just for clarity. Oh, and I would love for you to like if you did enjoy the content, subscribe if you want to see more of my face, and leave a comment down below if you have any similar stories or connections that you want to create with me.